Hi, welcome back. Today, subframes. Hey, so welcome back to Smoking Retros. Real glad you've joined us today. Today we're going to crack on with these subframes. We've got a couple of issues. Either we're going to have to put the old one back in with the new engine because there's actually space for the drive shafts, or we're going to have to highly modify this one. Unsure what we're doing, but we're going to do the front and the rear today. Let's get cracking. So, after a bit of rough measurement, I think we're going to leave it in there. I'm going to have to cut the front of it off, drop it down 100mm. Got plenty of boxes to do it, so we're alright on that. Because it's sort of sitting like that in a way, to sort of put it basically as that. And we were going to put the gussets underneath to drop the mounts down. Well, I think what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to drop this bar down to where them plates sit. So the plates with the box section we got last week was pointless. So we're going to drop this subframe out. I'm going to mark where I'm going to cast it both sides. I've got a big cut-off saw here, so we should be able to prop it up, get some nice straight cuts on it, and then we'll remake so it drops down. We'll probably use the front bar off it because we know where that sits, but we might not do.
Hello. Right, edit this one out here.
So, after all the whole I want angles on it and that, the best possible fit for it is a new piece of box section straight off, connecting via another piece of box. It'll all be nice and welded, it's just tacked in for now. And then basically a new beam across. All it was the fact that I couldn't get the radiator in. So I just got to cut out two gussets now and cut a little bit out, which I will replace with plate when I get some. So it should fit alright now. I'll give you a look so you can see what I've done. And it's only tacked up and it's not the prettiest, but by the time I finish with it, it'll look like it's factory. So as you can see, I basically just tacked that just there and there. I tacked it there, it was a bit low though. And I basically tacked this one to that, which was already on there, and then that goes onto that bush there. So I'll tack that up, tack it all up, make sure it's all nice and tight. and then we'll move over into the other side. So the radiator still won't quite fit over the top bar, so I think what we'll do is we might, yeah, I know what we'll do. Basically we'll cut them welds off that I've just put on them little tacks, and we'll lower it down. We'll put the radiator in, and then basically put the bar onto that. The radiator is no good anyway, so it doesn't, I'm not really fussed. If I've got to use a different fan or something, I'm not too fussed. But I'm trying to keep it at the minute that we're going to be using the standard radiator, because I've got the dimensions of that. I know I need a new one that's past its sell-by date. 28 years keeping this car going will do that to you. So we're going to nip them welds off I've just put on, so I can drop it back down. And basically we'll put that radiator in, so it's in, and basically it's standing there. And then basically I'll work it out. It looks like I've only got to come down about 10-15 mil. So we'll just do that now. Right, okay, so that's, they're in. They need a bit of tweaking, they're not 100% square, but I know where I can pull it straight and that, so I'm quite happy with that. So I'm going to throw the hub on this side just so I can make sure that the wheels do so. I'll probably get the other one and throw that on the other side. They're not permanently in, but they're in. I can look then, I can see. I've got to take the shock absorber off this hub though, because it's just in the way. We're going to put them in, slide the bolts in so the bolts are actually in the right place. The problem is the rear ones at the back of the wishbone actually are in the subframe, and it's the same on the other subframe, so you must have to drop the subframe at some point, which I can see being quite a hassle. So these might be a pain to change at a later date, but we're going to throw that on, and then at least at that point then I can go, yep, the wheel sits central, and you guys can tell me what you think, because when I looked at it the other day, it looks central, but I could be missing something, so let's get on with that. So it looks like I'm worrying for no reason apparently. We might see if we can still get a set of wishbones that push the wheel slightly back a bit more, but I'm unsure yet. But that seems to be the same size gap as the other side, so maybe when there's extra pressure on it, the wheel moves back slightly. I've seen it on suspensions before, so it is quite possible. So now I'm actually happy with that. We seem to be moving in the right direction. I've not accomplished nowhere near as much as I want to. I got here at 9 o'clock, we're on 2 o'clock, and I've accomplished making a mess, wasting steel. Finished the subframe though, so I think what we're going to do now is we're going to drop it out, and we're going to put it on the floor, and we're just going to go round welding it up. I'm going to put some shims in, or basically wedges, where there's too much of a gap to weld. I'm a good welder, but not that good. So I'll just cut some slivers off with a cut-off saw, just to put in. I know it's going to be strong enough. There's one thing I can say about that I can do, and I can weld really well. So not to be big-headed or anything. But, like I said, I'm happy with that. It's quite a cool look. The wheels won't be so close, so I put 14s on it, which is what I'm going for. It won't be so close because it'll be a smaller tyre, so it might just equal itself out. But like I said, once we get the new suspension in, because I know what I'm putting on it now, it might, as it sort of puts the car down, it might push itself back, which is quite a possibility. So my stepdad should be here soon, so I'll get him to have a look at it. But we're going to crack on, we're going to drop it out, we're going to weld her up. So that's the front subframe back out. I accidentally hit the record button when I shouldn't have, so sorry about that. My mates did come off, but luckily it's got tack marks, so just tack it back on and we'll get to do some welding. I do not wear the hat all the time. Right, so now we've got that all cleaned up. I've got some little gusset plates to go in where there's basically too much of a gap to weld. We're going to crack on welding that. What we're going to do is we're going to tack it all first, make sure it's all tacked and check it square, and then we'll get on to actually welding it. And what we'll do is we'll do it in like little inch welds where there's strain. So, because if you put too much weld on one side, it'll pull it and twist it. One thing I did learn from welding was you don't put too much heat on one side, so you'll just bow it. So I've got it pretty square now where it needs to be. When it goes in, I'm hoping it just slides back on and we'll be sorted at that point. So let's crack on welding. It fits. It actually fits. It looks like there's plenty of room for like gearboxes and drive shafts and that. I still need to cut the gussets out, but I've got to drop it out again to weld up. So once it's on the floor, we'll cut that out. I think what we're going to do is we're going to cut into where the arm actually sits, cut like a little square out, so the drive shaft's got plenty of room to move up and down whilst obviously the car's travelling. But apart from that, I'm super pleased. I didn't get the rears done, so we have got the rear to do, which is apparently more of a complicated job. So I think we'll have to require a bit more steel for that one. So we shall drop it back down, weld them mounts on now, and then we'll probably call it a day. So this is the front subframe that I've just welded up. As you can see, we basically cut it off here and basically built this entire front section back, put the original mounts on it as well. All the mounts will be being changed to all these old bushes. These old bushes will be going because they're no good now. They've been a bit too worn and useless now. So there's one there and then there's one down here as well. So this is the rear and this is the front. So it's still a bit hot in a minute. So we've welded that on there. I'm going to put a piece of plate on them so they're all sealed up, so we don't need to worry about them. We're going to put a gusset in here, or a basic strengthening bar, but I can't do it until the engine's in, so I know how much space. It could be a little one, it could be a big one. So that's the front subframe done now. it's all welded up. It's cooling down. We won't throw it in today. It's getting pretty late now. I should really get back. But that's all that done. Next week we'll crack on with the rear subframe. It's a lot more fabrication than this one, a hell of a lot more. We've got to cut bits of the wheel well out and all that nonsense. But we're getting there. Once these subframes are done, I can order the suspension parts. We are going for the hydroelastic replacement units. They're basically a spring in the same sort of package that the hydros sit in, so they should literally just bolt on. We're done. We've still got to find a place for the shocks to go, but once we get the hydroelastics in, it sits on its own weight, and I can position them and just be drilling a hole and bolting it up at the top. There are only single ones on this. So I think we're going to call it that for a day. So thank you very much for watching. I am super happy that you've all joined me on this journey that we're going, turning this little Metro 100 into a pickup. So thank you very much for watching. Hit the like button, drop a comment, and feel free to subscribe. Thank you very much. See you next time.